Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, collectors of all ages, welcome back to AussieVerse, where today me and my lovely co-hosts are talking about our top 10 Marvel villains. As always, I am OmniBeau, joined by Sharif and Grodd Watson. How are you, boys?
Much better now that I'm home with you guys.
It was a long work day, I think, for all of us.
It was.
It was, yeah. If you are new to the channel, we have reached 400 subscribers, and this Monday we are drawing our winner of the $100 Amazon gift card. For you to be a part of that draw, for you to be in that draw, all you need to do is go to the 400 announcement video that we uploaded a few days ago, comment on that video anything you like AussieVerse _Comx on Instagram, and be a subscriber. That was it. You fill those criteria, you are in the draw and you may win. And while you are on Instagram, go check out our editor and graphic designer, A51 _designs. Enough of the plug-in. Let's get down to the love bed and top 10 Marvel villains. Sharif, we will go around this way. Sharif, mark me. Sharif, mark me. Go for it.
My number 10. Let's see if I can find him. There you go. He is the kingpin of crime, Mr. Wilson Fisk. When you've got money and you can throw your weight around, nothing can stand in your way. Look, he can. If he can't do it, he'll just hire someone who can and not get his hands dirty.
That is right. Nice pick, Grodd.
My number 10 is Kang,
the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror. So this character only just sort of recently, because I read a recent solo series and really enjoyed it so much. One of my favorite mini-series I've almost ever read. So I like the dynamic. Well, now he's been introduced into the MCU, so things are getting pretty exciting. And I think he will climb higher in my list the more I read of him or whatever, the more he shows up. Because I'm relatively new for Marvel readers, like 2 or 3 years or so. But yeah, Kang really has stood out to me lately. So yeah, Kang number 10.
It's a perfect time to start being a bit of a Kang lover as well.
I know.
Man.
My number 10 is a villain that doesn't pop up very often. I fell in love with him during Marvel's Dark Reign era. He is a man that is simply just a man who stumbled upon a magic hood and took the crime families by storm. He goes simply by the Hood. The Hood. He has become the kingpin of crime himself. He has created his own dark cabal before. He is a master of leadership and getting all the criminals together. And if you read his Maxi series, which is about him, it is a very dark, gritty tale. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for the Hood because he's got no cosmic powers. He's got no magic. Oh, well, actually, sorry. Yeah, he's got magic. But it's just skills, mate. Skills.
And that's what makes a good leader. You just inspire the people.
Yeah.
Right. So my second pick for which falls to number 9, even though there may be a theme to this, but this is Marvel. It's not. Number 9 is, let's see if we can pop it up. There you go. Mr. Goblin, the green version. Yeah, I mean, out of so many goblin types, first one, most threatening, most conniving, and maybe most dangerous.
That was a good pick. I like that.
Yeah. My number 9, I am not finding it here on the overlays, is Dr. Octopus.
Did I miss a picture?
I think so.
All
yeah.
right, well, you can steal mine because it's going to be on mine later.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, yeah, Dr. Octopus, obviously not dive that much into him into the comics. Devil's Reign and a few other things lately. I like the backstory. Obviously, the movie Spider-Man 2 is awesome. So, yeah, Doc Octopus, and it's a pretty cool outfit with the mechanical arms as well and stuff like that. And yeah, love Doc Ock.
Yeah, he's a freaking legend. All right, my number 9 is the Hobgoblin. Now, which Hobgoblin? Because there's been a few. My favorite Hobgoblin is, and the surname, in all of my years, I've never known if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I've always said Jason Masondale, but it could be, I think in one cartoon they pronounced it Macondale maybe. But Jason Masondale is my favorite Hobgoblin because that guy is absolutely freaking savage. He is so savage that I remember reading a storyline where Demo Goblin, who is a demon version of Hobgoblin, Demo Goblin was trying to fight Spider-Man and Hobgoblin at the same time, and Demo Goblin had pushed a wall and it was going to land on a child, and Demo Goblin went and saved the child because the child is innocent and Demo Goblin likes to kill the guilty. And as he saves the innocent child, Hobgoblin comes up behind him and breaks his neck and kills him. So Hobgoblin, that version, is more inhuman than the non-human Goblin. And I remember when they first revealed after 20 years the original Hobgoblin, because it was a big mystery for 20 years or so. And I remember being so disappointed when they announced it was Robert Kingsley, because I thought, that's no Jason Masondale, And ever since they announced Robert Kingsley as Hobgoblin, Jason Masondale has not been around since. He's just disappeared completely. So it's a big shame.
All right, on to number 8. When I was looking for a photo of this character, the first one came out was a target.
I know who it is.
But in the center of the target is Bullseye.
Miss? Oh, I mean, I'm Bullseye. Yes.
How do you run away from a guy who never misses? And whatever he touches can be turned into a weapon.
Yeah.
So that's one dangerous dude. Stay away.
I was just looking for the omnibus, but have you read Punisher Max by Jason Aaron with Bullseye? Oh, dude, if you like Bullseye, you have got to read that. It is so freaking good, man. So good. Bullseye is just nuts in that, man. That Bullseye in that Punisher run is better than any Bullseye in Daredevil, in my opinion, that I've ever read. Yeah.
Cool. So my number 8 is Baron Mordo.
Ooh, magic.
Yes. So I'm a reasonably big Doctor Strange fan, and obviously he's number 1 nemesis. basically. Apart from, it could be debatable, I guess, but yeah, this is the one. Like, it's kind of me being a DC guy. It's got the same complex as Hal Jordan and what's his name? Sinestro. Yeah, so they were sort of friends. They trained together for a bit, and then all of a sudden they're against each other because they got different views. They both think they're right and stuff like that. So I think this is the chemistry I sort of gravitate towards, him and Strange. They sort of have that chemistry where, they did once upon a time respect each other, but now they're mainly Mordo's just trying to kill Doctor Strange because he's jealous, basically, to start with. But yeah, I don't like him. He's a lot more, like, especially in the comics, he's a lot more powerful than people think. He's he's really, like, next level powerful, and it's something that maybe the MCU should address, or if they want another major villain, he's definitely got the power set for it. And I think the actor, I can't place his name, I reckon was doing a great job as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's good. I'm pretty sure he's got a really, like, hard to pronounce name from memory too, unless I'm thinking of another actor's name. But yeah, it's not easy. My number 7 is the absolutely vicious.
Are we number 8?
Oh, did I stuff that up?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I did too. Number 8. I skipped one of mine. Okay, my number 8 is the Kingpin of Crime. Always had a huge Kingpin love ever since the Spider-Man cartoon series. How could you not love the Kingpin if you're a fan of that cartoon series? And to this day, whenever I read Kingpin, I still hear that actor's voice, that very distinguishable voice from the cartoon.
Cool, man. My number 7. If you're put up against someone who can mimic you, who can match you move by move, Taskmaster. How do you then come on top? Keep it clean. Yeah, I mean, you got to be creative when you're up against him. I think if I remember this character correctly, you can't do whatever you do twice because he'll just counter you, and every new exchange will be a brand new one.
Yeah, if you're fighting him, you've got to be real creative and you've got to be different every time.
Every time.
Number 7?
Yes, number 7 for me is Ultron. I like Ultron, the concept of, obviously, even in the comics with Hank Pym creating him, and he's there to save the world. And then because he's just a computer, he realizes to save the world is to wipe out humans, which, to be honest, isn't that far off. Like, let's be honest, we're the ones fucking the universe. So he's kind of got a point, because he's just a computer and he does all the data and he just goes, you know what? Humans are the problem. Going to wipe them out. And I like the concept. I think he looks cool. There's a few earlier, like, incarnations of him that look pretty like old school Transformer-ish. But yeah. And like, I liked him in the movie. Like, I didn't think the movie was great, but I liked him in the movie as well, Ultron, by Spader, who did the voice. But yeah, The Age of Ultron actual comic book series I have read and I really enjoyed. So, yeah, Ultron.
Yeah. I hated how he had a sense of humor in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, he never usually does. He's just computerized death. Yeah.
My number 7, as I was saying before when I stuffed up the countdown, is the savage, vicious, never to be a hero, Cletus Cassidy, Carnage. Probably the closest version of the Joker to the Marvel Universe. Obviously, completely different, but that's how I sort of see him. Just lunacy, absolute lunacy. You will never be able to reason with him. Nothing. He's just, he'll fuck you up.
I'm surprised he's number 7 for you, mate.
Yeah, in fact, it's hard for this whole top 10 to not all be Spider-Man villains, if I'm not being honest.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, but when I do go through it, yeah, I love reading Carnage. I really do, but I've got to admit there are other villains I like more.
That's fair enough.
And on to number 6. Let's see where. Well, let's head over to Mutantdom with Magneto. Look, he can lead however big a big mutant army as he'd like. I think the vision that he had, I may or may not agree with it. If you're at the top of the food chain, lead, man. Take over the world, but then you've got the other team.
Yep.
I agree. So my number, what are we up to? 6?
6
is going to be Sabretooth, a mutant. So we move on to the X-Men here as well. So Sabretooth, to me, I've just sort of recently started to read up a few things where he's popping up, and I really enjoy the character. He really does seem like a really evil version of Wolverine. Like he kind of speaks and acts the same, but he's just brutal as well. So I really enjoy Victor Creed, and he just really is just out for himself a lot of the time. But there is times that I've read that he does have not a bad heart. If it suits him, sometimes he can sort of do the right thing, but yeah, otherwise he's just sort of out for himself. And I've just read the new series, the new mini-series, which is going to be continued on from Sabretooth and the Exiles, which first issue's out this week. And I finished the series before that, and it was really fun, really good. And you did really get a scope into how, Sabretooth is just a badass. He's just a guy that wants to kill everybody that sort of made him look stupid.
I don't blame him.
I want to read that series.
It's good. I highly recommend it. It's not mind-blowing. I heard like it was on top of the charts every week it came out, and everybody was saying it was good. So my expectations were high, but I wasn't disappointed. So
sweet. Well, my number 6 is a man that's just like Carnage, will always be a villain. You will never be able to reason with him. He's just pure evil, and that is the Red Skull. What can I say, mate? Like, just like Carnage, that whenever this guy is involved, it's nothing but pure evil. There is just nothing good about inside this person whatsoever.
My number 4. Mark mentioned him. Let's see. Can I find him?
5, isn't it?
yeah, it's 5.
5. I'm sorry. There you go. He's a doctor. He's a ruler. He's Doom. I just finished reading Secret Wars, the 2015 series. Man, Doom, God damn Doom. Look, I think he has the charisma to do what he wants to do, and sometimes what he's done. And look, he thinks himself above everyone else. So, hey, he can do no evil.
Very good. My number 5 is Carnage. So, as Bo has touched on before, yeah, I like Carnage. He is just the pureness of evil. Like, there is no change in him. There is no, like, it is what it is. He just wants blood. He wants to murder. He's addicted to it, basically, and that's what he wants to go out and do. It is interesting in ways. I do still read the current Carnage ongoing at the moment as well, and I'm loving it. But yeah, he's an interesting character. Cletus Cassidy's reasonably interesting, but it's pretty clear cut, simple. He is just purely a villain and a psycho. So I like it. And plus, the design of Carnage is just outrageously awesome.
Yeah.
We can all, like, that's also a massive part of it. I mean, like, you see that on a page in a comic book, you just go, whoa. That's awesome.
Yeah, agreed. Me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my number 5 is a villain that is always very much underestimated. He's never done anything spectacular to be this high on a list, but I really believe he's pure evil. Like, well, nearly pure evil, and that is the Vulture.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the reason why he's so high on my list as well is because, do you guys have any digital, like, Marvel apps where you read the comics or anything?
Like Unlimited?
Yeah. There was a 3-issue series, which I think was in Spectacular Spider-Man, called Funeral Arrangements is what it was called. And that storyline made me fall in love with the Vulture, because the Vulture has discovered that the suit that gives him the flight power of flight is giving him cancer, and he's going to die. And he ends up going to Aunt May's house to try to ask for her forgiveness before he dies. And it's so heartwarming and so emotional. And you think the Vulture is seeing the error in his ways, and all he wants is Aunt May's forgiveness. And Aunt May basically turns around to him and says, "Get stuffed, get out of my head," and he just shows his true colors after that. And every storyline since then, if you really look at the Vulture, he is absolutely savage. He will murder anybody in the blink of an eye, and he doesn't care about anybody but himself. All he can do is fly, and he's an old man. But man, will he mess you up and cause Spider-Man problems.
Very, very, very bitter old man, get off my lawn type of guy.
Yeah, which is why I was really disappointed that Michael Keaton was Vulture. Nothing against him. He did a good job. But one of the fascinations that I always had with the Vulture is the fact that he's an old man. And that is really fascinating, that you've got a guy that's meant to be like around 70s, maybe even 80s, because it's comics and things aren't really realistic. But you have this really old man that's causing so much grief for Spider-Man. And in the movie, he was just...
Oh, sorry, go on. Sorry, Bo.
That was it. I was going to say, in the movie, he wasn't an old man, that's all.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I've got a perfect casting for you. Well, what do you guys think? John Malkovich.
John Malkovich was the cast for the Vulture.
He was
in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4.
Well, I didn't even know that. So
Yeah.
that was my...
If Spider-Man 4 happened, that would have happened.
Oh, okay, so that's a perfect casting. And then, that's not me copying it. That was just my first thing that came to my mind, Malkovich.
Yeah.
But can you just imagine if he were just to go up, pull 2G, snap his neck, and then it's done? Moving on. Number 4. Mark touched on this character. Just a little bit more to add on to it. Ultron. I just find it fascinating that, however forward-thinking he does, he still fails, but with the back door, with just uploading his consciousness into probably another body, to fight another day. Hey, you can't fault someone for that much determination, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's definitely an interesting character. My number 4 is Bullseye. So yeah, Sharif has touched on this before, but I have to agree as well. Like the skill set behind him, like is just anything can be a weapon. He can kill you with a stapler or whatever. Just anything that he can throw at you. He's deadly accurate. He's a bit of a psychopath. I've read there was a solo series of his out about 2018. I got that. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it because of the fact is it did make you realise, because when you get a solo series, sometimes it can be like you can see the lighter side of him. This didn't show that. Like he just got a contract and he was just willing to do it. There was another dude after him to kill him, but he just out psychopathed him. So sort of thing. It was just like, who could be crazier and take as much punishment as well as just come out in the end? And yeah. So, and to be honest, I really like the costume design as well. This is another one that I like the look as well. I like the bullseye. I like the blue spandex, whatever it is. And yeah.
I am definitely pulling out that Punisher omnibus and lending it to you then.
Yeah.
And it's not a big omnibus either. Who's next?
Yo, 4.
Me?
Yep.
My number 4 is a fairly new villain. He really hasn't done much in comparison to every other villain that we've listed here, but it was one of my favorite creations of recently, and the impact that he made was huge. I can't wait for him to come back. I've bought so much merchandise with this guy's face and logo, and that is my God. No.
Yeah.
God of the Symbiotes. It really doesn't get much bigger than Null for me when it comes to like people that you just can't mess with, man. If you don't know who Null is, I highly suggest you go and read Donny Cates' run on Venom. If you don't want to read that, then at least go check out the Marvel event that was called The King in Black, and there you will find out all about Null.
Yeah, very recent though, isn't he? I suppose. Yeah, is it 2019 or when is that sort of?
Yeah, no. Is it? I don't know, man. Like years just fly by now. You know what I mean? It could have been.
These COVID years too, and stuff like that, and everything.
Yeah, I think The King in Black happened 2 years ago.
Because Donny Cates' Venom started 2018, wasn't it? And then King in Black was around Venom issue 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
So 2 years, 2020.
Yeah. He'd been teasing him for a bit too, though, hadn't he? Or so some sort of evil was coming. Very cool design. Is it someone that if he pops up a little bit more, he's going to climb up a bit more? It feels like it, though, or?
Yeah, I think so. Plus, not only that, but I absolutely love the classic Venom symbiote logo. I've even got it tattooed on my leg. And I thought it was ingenious that they gave the same symbol to Null, but they changed it from a spider to a dragon.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Hey,
I'll
tell you what, next Comic Con, come on, man, dress up as him. All right, it'd be cool. That's a cool cosplay. Come on.
Man, top three.
Top three.
Top three. Fidgety. All right. My number three. He travels through time.
Is he frozen?
He can travel through time. He knows what's coming. He can. Yeah. He is Kang. I honestly, I don't know really much about this character, only from the Loki TV series, a bit from there, and a bit from the Avengers that I've read, and some of the animated series. But yeah, from what I know, if you can keep traveling back and forth, you can avoid the mistakes and right the wrong.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But he just never does it right, does he? But I think with all that, there's so much story.
Try again.
Yeah, very good. Yes.
What's your
So
number
my number three is we've touched on him before. Taskmaster.
You guys have the same list nearly, just in different orders.
Yeah, pretty much. It's DC fans for you. But look, this is a character I'm getting into the characters that I really do really love, and I'm even talking in all comics here now. Taskmaster, I really love. I remember way back when I brought me first Punisher trade, and it was Deadpool versus Punisher, and Taskmaster showed up in that, and I was going, "Oh, who's this dude that can beat these people?" Because he just watches them. And I started following up a bit more onto him. And it was a solo series by Jed McKay that came out too, and I got that as soon as it came out. I tell you what, it was so much fun. I'm not going to say it's the most well-written thing ever, or it's the storyline's like unbreakable. It's a simple storyline, but the characters, like people that might not know Taskmaster that much and maybe go by the movies or by what people say, Taskmaster's actually quite funny.
Yeah.
He is like an evil version of Deadpool. He just talks.
Yeah.
He talks and talks. He's got this ridiculous sense of humor, and I loved it. And I'm a Deadpool fan, so naturally this would be like, oh, this is awesome. So yeah. Anyway, I highly recommend the Jed McKay run as well. It's good fun. Definitely not a waste of time. And so Taskmaster 3.
One of the lines that I loved that Deadpool said in that series was, "Would you pick a theme already? Are you an evil skull man, or are you a pirate man, or what? You've got too much going on here."
Yeah. I do remember another bit too, where he's watching and he has a butler, and the butler goes, "Anything else, sir?" And he goes, and Taskmaster's going, "What are you staring at? It's the new belt, isn't it?"
My number 3 is the most octopusy man you will ever see. Oh God, that really didn't work out. Dr. Octopus. Dr. Octopus became one of my favorite villains when there was a storyline called it was weird. Spider-Man had like 4 different series running at the same time, right? And it was Amazing Spider-Man, Adjectiveless Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, and Web of Spider-Man. And at the time, they had a storyline in Amazing Spider-Man called Web of Life. And then in one of the other titles, they had another storyline at the exact same time called Web of Death. And one of them had Peter Parker, one of them had Ben Reilly. And I can't remember if it was Web of Life or Web of Death, but Dr. Octopus finally, after all of these years, discovered that Spider-Man and Peter Parker were the same person for the first time ever. So it was a massive, massive shock, right? And it was the last page on the issue where he unmasked him, and you went, oh my God. Then you waited a month for the next issue, and you expected Dr. Octopus to destroy Peter Parker's life, kill him, typical villain shit. And instead, Peter Parker was dying of a poison at the same time. And that's why Dr. Octopus could beat him in this match, because Spider-Man wasn't at full strength. So he's defeated Spider-Man, he's unmasked him, discovered he's Peter Parker, and then he's taken him to his lab to cure him. And you're reading it going, why? And Dr. Octopus is working in a lab with Peter Parker helping him, trying to find a cure to this poison. And you're like, this is amazing. They're actually to get this is years and years before Superior Spider-Man, right? And then when they cure him, Peter Parker turns around to Doc Ock and says, thank you, Otto. I guess this kind of changes our relationship now, doesn't it? And he gives him his hand to shake. And Otto turns around and slaps it back and says, no, now I want to fight you and kill you. And Peter goes, what? That doesn't make any sense. And Otto goes, my life is to kill you, not some poison. I saved you so that I could kill you. And I went, yeah, man. You're freaking nuts.
To be the best, you got to beat the best.
Yeah.
Awesome. Top two.
Right. My number two. So far, all of the characters that I've chosen are Earthbound. How about if we go beyond? The Beyonder. First met him in the 1985-86 Secret Wars series. First time reading him, thought, hey, cool dude, a little bit of wavy hair, white jacket, and then, oh, look at his power set. Oh, it's more than a god. Yeah, he look like gods. You take humans' lives just as a plaything. You fight, see whoever wins gets it. I think he made a few other appearances after that, if I'm not mistaken. I've not read much about him, but yeah, from what I know,
Secret Wars
he's
2.
there. He played a major part in that one, I guess.
Yeah, so Secret Wars 2, he comes to Earth and wants to learn more about humanity and stuff.
Nah. Number one.
No, you got to read it. If he's number 2 on your list, you need to read it.
All right.
Yeah.
And he's my number 2.
My number 2 is another big heavy hitter, which I'm sure by the end of this, all three of us are going to have him on our list. But Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom. What else can we say about him? He's a very interesting villain, and not 100% all the time a villain. We can safely say not all the time, but it is a dynamic and interesting character that I feel that does jump out to you on the page and stuff like that, and his power set and the backstory and just what goes on in his brain. You just don't know what's going to happen next with him and stuff like that, and he's not to be messed with. So he's pretty much defeated everybody that he could possibly defeat in comic book history. Except what?
Except Squirrel Girl.
I said Squirrel Girl, yeah, but no one can beat her. Yeah, that's my number 2.
My number 2 is a man that has taken everything away from Peter Parker. Took away
Poverty?
his baby. That's how evil this person is. You know that when this character shows up in Spider-Man, shit's going down. And that is that is Green Goblin. Norman Osborn. Dude, what can I say, mate? What can I say? This guy is just the worst. Also
That's
the
a
best.
cool picture too.
Yeah.
Looks very NBA Jam like.
Now we're down to number 1.
Number 1, here we go.
Bo, you mentioned the Green Goblin taking away something from Peter. My number 1 has also taken something away from Peter and Mary Jane as well. Let's see if I can find him. Oh, where is he? Where is he? Have I lost him?
No, you've got it there.
Can see it.
Oh. Now I can't remember if you've used him or not already.
Well, yeah, my number 1 is Mephisto. He took away his love, his marriage, and everything changed from then on. He not only incurred, not only caused tragedy in Peter and MJ's life, but he caused great grief and anger for us readers as well. So for that, my number 1.
But
Nice.
Peter did ask for that.
True.
Well, that's a surprising one. I was going to say, like, main thing that Peter Parker's been taken away from Peter is poverty, like, because he's always broke and he's a superhero. Like, how can you be a superhero and be broke? Like, poverty, broke. Anyway, my number 1 is a character that I think you both mentioned. I can't remember, but Kingpin. So this character, again, just sort of kept on rising up the ranks for me, and I really find it interesting, just basically because of the psyche part of him, that he thinks he's saving New York, that this is his goal. Like, he truly believes that this is the way, and he's just power hungry too at the end of the day as well. He just doesn't like people getting in the road of his plans. And look, if Daredevil never got in his way, he wouldn't give a shit about him at all, probably, but he does. And, you know, nobody gets in the way of Kingpin when he has a goal. And this guy is just driven by the goodness of his heart, but he does it in the wrong way, sort of way. And I think that's very interesting as well. So he's a person that says, I want, I must have, not I want, I'm going to work hard for it, sort of thing. So he's just one of those type of guys. And yeah, real interesting for me. So definitely number 1. And yeah.
I think Kingpin is the best Marvel MCU villain as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, by far.
Yeah. I really lost my shit when I saw him in Hawkeye. Like, it was amazing to see. Even in, like, that white suit with the hat, I'm just going, yes, this was so good. I want to see more.
My number 1, I'm not going to talk about because we've mentioned it, but I'll show you because, you know, you want to know. And that is the ruler of Latveria. All hail Doom. Dr. Doom, if you didn't know. I love Doom.
And why is that? Why is he your favorite?
Because I just respect the crap out of him. Like, he takes magic and becomes a master of it. He takes science and becomes the master of it. he takes a nation, becomes the master of it. He then fights Sharif's number one, Mephisto, to get his mum back and beats him. Haha, Sharif. And gets his mum back. He's just the most driven, confident baddie I've ever seen. And he's just, he's just incredible. I just love him.
Yeah, he's one of the best sort of written up villains in history almost. I mean, like, most people would have him in their top 10 that are comic book fans. I dare them not to. So,
That's why I just
and I guess that's why there's a big uproar when he was not done properly in the FF movies.
It's kind of hard done because us as comic book fans, you can see it right now. We hold him up so high. It's going to be hard to top it ever, unless it's done perfectly. Which character's ever been done perfectly on TV?
That's what drives me crazy. It's so simple. It's just a guy with a burnt face that becomes a leader of Latveria, and that's it. And learns magic and science. Where in the movies, they've given him metal powers all the bloody time. And it's like he's not made of metal. He doesn't have metal powers. God damn it. It's such a simple concept, and they make it so complicated.
Yeah, they definitely screwed it. I know the movies aren't great, but the original ones, I didn't hate him in those ones.
No, I didn't mind the actor.
Yeah, Aussie guy too. I can't remember his name, but yeah. I thought he wasn't bad, but it was the tone of the movie, I guess, that made it look sort of not great.
And there we have it. AussieVerse's top 10 Marvel villains. Thank you for sticking around. We will see you shortly for more videos like this, Monday live chats. There is a lot of interviews we want to be doing, but, people are busy. Sharif's going to be doing more custom corners, I'm guessing.
Yep. I've just sent in the artwork for my next batch. I think 12 books. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up. Previous month, that was only 8. Stay tuned.
Mark has a million ideas of videos for this channel too. So thank God for him, because I like talking but not coming up with my own shit. So we do have a lot of ideas coming at you. And as usual, please go check out Comx, our sponsor, because if you want to know anything about Australian comics, Australian graphic creators, I nearly stuffed that up. Australian comic creators, Australian comic writers, Australian comic artists. You want to know where all of the comic shops are in Australia. You want to simply buy Australian comics. Go to Comx, where you can get one flat shipping rate, no matter how many comics you buy. Thank you very much, and we will see you soon. Grodd Sharif, AussieVerse is, as always,
for life.
Yes, I've trained them well. Thank you.
This show is sponsored by the Comx Shop. Check out comx.cx for all things Comx and find out what Comx is all about. We hope you enjoyed the show.